Hi there! As a BL fan who keeps coming back to things I care about, I enjoy taking a closer look at the world of BL and analyzing it according to certain subjects. In each video, I take on a subject in an informative and hopefully entertaining way and express my thoughts with the help of a co-narrator. Helping me narrate this video is... or Jonathan from See Your Love. Together, we bring you Bad Boys in Asian BL Lack Ambiguity. In my previous video, To My Shore and Redemption, I laid out my main thoughts about the drama To My Shore in relation to the topic of redemption. I felt that was a very important aspect of the drama. I don't want to repeat myself here, so if you have not seen that video yet and are interested, please go check it out after this. I mainly had good things to say about the drama, only at the end did I say that there was one major issue that I had with the drama. This issue doesn't take away my appreciation for the drama overall, as I still think it's very good. I wanted to talk about it in a separate video because I can extend the topic to other dramas and their characters, so here we are. This video is coming off of the previous video and my video What Makes a Character or Storyline Toxic in BL. I keep coming back to the topic of toxic characters and storylines because it's something I care about and I see a lot of issues in Asian BL that I feel I need to address. As I watch and discover more stories, I also find myself differentiating and partially changing my views on certain things. If you find yourself disagreeing with me on the following points, that's fine. This is my opinion based on my impressions of characters, and I don't expect you all to be on the same page as me. Feel free to let me know in the comments which parts you disagree on. Without any further ado, let me get to the main issue I have with To My Shore. It makes me kind of sad to say this, but I just don't like Fan Xiao, one of the main characters, at all. Seriously, I think it's a big shame that I don't like him. He started out as a rich, selfish, controlling, practically sociopathic, and sometimes kind of psychotic man, but in the end turned his life around and became a better version of himself. His character arc was really impactful to watch. He treated Yoshulang, the man he supposedly loved, quite terribly at times, but the ending of the drama gave him a pretty solid redemption for it. I was really impressed with the ending, but the happiness I had for seeing Fan Xiao and Yoshulang end up together was pretty much just for Yoshulang. I felt very strongly that Yoshulang deserved to find happiness, and he deserved a better version of Fan Xiao than he had gotten before, but at the end, I didn't care about Fan Xiao's feelings. For most of the drama, I had seen him scheming, lying, manipulating, taking what he wanted without any regard for the others, or in general, acting with a selfish, ulterior motive. His character was introduced like that in the first episode already. This means that I was spending so much time seeing him as a sociopath, that even when he stopped acting like that, I found myself still seeing his toxic past and not being able to let go of how he had made me feel before his big change. Even though I actually wanted to see him differently. So why is it, in spite of the redemption that his character gets, that I can only see him in a negative light? And why is this a problem I want to talk about more generally in Asian BL? I've already talked about toxic characters and storylines before. Let me now expand a bit on what I said and differentiate my views a bit. My biggest issue with toxic characters is when harmful behavior is romanticized or downplayed. I am not of the opinion, though, that there should never be any harmful behavior in a love story, and that everybody always need to be saints. While I like the obviously good characters a lot, I don't always automatically hate characters who aren't always the best people. This means that I do sometimes like characters that are ambiguous as to how good or bad they are, and despite their problematic sides, have very likable traits. I like characters in movies and series who could be categorized as the funny, likable villain, so an antagonist who brings a lot of humor, or a charming sociopath, somebody who is very charming, but capable of ending you at any moment. A very good example of a charming sociopath in BL is Wenko in Word of Honor. He is charming and warm, but he also has a hidden side and an air of danger about him. In fiction, characters with ambiguity like that can be very entertaining and interesting to watch. It's for entertainment, so reality is less important, and there's a lot more leeway on the morality of people's behavior. And in a story, there's something very impactful about knowing that something a character did was wrong, but you can't hate them for it because you otherwise just like them too much as a character. After all, there are things to like about these kinds of characters. Their charming personalities that hide their negative side, confidence and fearlessness, not caring what others think, maybe even a certain rebelliousness and sass that sets them apart from others. And plenty of people also love the proximity to danger. That's why the whole bad boy trope is so popular. What I realized from watching To My Shore, though, is that I have rarely encountered a character in Asian BL who was ambiguous in that way. Wen Kexing is not just a good example of a charming sociopath, there aren't many characters like him to begin with. Most of the time, the bad boy characters' personalities was never likable enough from the start for me to look past their harmful behavior. That's because in Asian BL, the majority of stories with a bad boy who intentionally hurts the man he loves put a lot of emphasis on showing just how bad a character he is. It's the bad boy trope pushed to the extreme, where the toxicity is at the front of the character. The characters are otherwise not fleshed out enough in a way to give them any other likable traits. Or the characters are given a tragic backstory, but the things they do are so horrendous that they are impossible to look past. Having so much negativity associated with a character just ruins a character's likability for me. When all is said and done, the only thing supposed to make them likable is their feelings for the other man, and, let's be honest, in the case of dramas, their looks. Some examples besides Fan Xiao that I haven't brought up before are Xie Yan in Uncontrolled Love, who is basically a rich, spoiled young master, Yuan Yang in the novel Beloved Enemy, a rebellious and rough provocateur, and Elias in Bad Guy My Boss, a cold CEO who plays around with multiple men's feelings. From what's shown in the dramas and the novel, these characters appear to have nothing else to do than be what I just described. But it doesn't have to be this way. If we were to set up the spectrum from good to bad and everything in between, there are plenty of good characters and some very bad characters. But it's the middle ground that still needs some work in some dramas. It's not that there is no middle ground in BL, there certainly is, but I miss seeing characters who are morally ambiguous in a likable way. There are a few characters where if they hadn't emphasized the problematic sides of them so much, I would have really liked them. For example, Chu Chong in Revenged Love is somebody I could have really liked. Putting aside the problematic things he did, and the little bit of redemption that he gets for them, I like how he carries himself with confidence, and without caring what most other people think about him. I like how he does things his way, from his personal style in how he dresses to how he lives. I like his love for snakes, and how he resists his parents' expectations of how he should live his life. Some things he does go too far for me, though, which is why I find myself disliking him. But if he hadn't been quite the controlling mob boss, I'd have enjoyed seeing him as a character a lot more. And Fan Xiao. Besides the whole manipulation, selfishness, and obsessive behavior, he would actually have a very interesting and potentially seductive side to him. He is an artist. There is so much more they could have done with that to give his character more depth. Most of the time we see him paint, it's in moments connected to his childhood trauma, or as part of his scheming, manipulative plans. So they are mainly tainted with negativity. Then, as soon as he becomes a better version of himself in his redemptive ending, the whole artistic side of him is nowhere to be seen anymore. It probably would have made quite a big difference to me if his artistic work had been a red thread that he maintained at all points in the story, no matter where he was or what he was going through emotionally. Taking into consideration that he changes for the better, I think it's a real shame for his character that there is so much negativity attached to him. There is more to this character than his toxic side. In the drama ending scene, we see him sitting alone in a storage unit, warming his hands on a radiator, beer and seed shells lying on the table next to him. It's fine as an image, but it doesn't go very far in terms of what it evokes emotionally. Now picture instead him sitting there, drawing with some cheap materials by the light of one light bulb, the table full of sketches, some beer and seed shells taking up a corner of the table space. Everything else that happens in that scene after that would still have happened the way it did, but we, and especially I, might have seen him as more than just the toxic ex-boyfriend. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe if you liked it. Take care!